All right, guys, it's been a while. Let me grab my marker here. All right, we've got a new I can statement. So we're going to read it together, and then we'll look at this problem. And it actually goes along with a real world problem that I'll read to you guys, but I didn't put it on. I didn't put it up here on the board. All right. So it says I can use partial quotients to divide. So that's going to be our key term that we're going to focus on. And this is a new strategy that we're going to learn to help us divide multi-digit numbers, bigger numbers like 23. So we worked on one-digit divisors last week. This week we're going to start moving into two-digit divisors, and this is a really easy strategy that I think will help you. So here is the problem. I'll just read it aloud to you. It says, people in the United States eat about 23 pounds of pizza per person every year. Did you know that, Mr. Tony? Yeah, learned something new. If you ate that much pizza each year, how many years would it take for you to eat 775 pounds of pizza? All right, so that is why we have the problem, 775 divided by 23, all right? So instead of doing the whole, we're going to divide 23 into 77 and then subtract and bring down in those 4 steps, with partial quotients, what you're going to do is you're going to pull out a decent chunk each time with facts that are easy to think about. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. Put your multiplication sign right here on the corner like we did when we did the other strategy, the old-fashioned strategy. And what you're going to do with partial quotients is you're going to draw your partial, we call this our partial quotient line. So everything to the right of this line is going to be your partial quotients. And I'm going to show you what that is in just a second. It's really just a part of your final answer that you'll get, okay? So what you want to do is just think about this number right here, 23. Easy facts that you can multiply, or easy numbers that you can multiply by 23 in your head, that you don't have to think about a lot. And the best numbers that I try to tell students to do are 10s, 5s, 10s, 2s, and even 1s if it applies. But the goal is to not have to make your problem so long that you're filling up an entire piece of paper or an entire whiteboard or whatever. You want to condense it the best you can. So if we think about 23 times 1, that's only 23. And if we're just subtracting 23 out of 775, that's not a lot. So we want to think higher than that. So what's another number that would be easy to think about that you could multiply 23 by that would get you a decent chunk of 775? And the number that comes to mind for me is 10. So you're going to write 10 here, all right? And actually, it might be easier to think about your multiplication sign with this strategy right over here. Because what you're going to do next is you're going to multiply your 10 times 23. And 10 times 23 is just 23 with a 0, right? When we worked on those patterns of 10s. So 230, you're going to subtract out from 775. So you're still dividing and multiplying and subtracting just like you did with the other strategy, but this eliminates the whole bringing down part, that 4th step, okay? So we're going to subtract 5 minus 0 is 5, 7 minus 3 is 4, and 7 minus 2 is 5. So we've got 545 left. Now the cool thing about this strategy is if you find a fact that works really well, like 10, you can ask yourself, can I do 10 times 23 again and subtract it out from this number, what we have left? And the answer is yes, because you know 10 times 23 is 230. And that's still less than 545, so you can still take that part out. So we're just going to do the very same thing again. 5 minus 0 is 5, 4 minus 3 is 1, 5 minus 2 is 3. So now we're down to 315. We've taken 2 pretty large chunks out of 775. And I did not write that 10 down over here. That's a big mistake. I always forget to do that, so you all make sure you remember to write down what you're multiplying by 23 and you're taking out, okay? So you can ask yourself the same thing again. Can I do this again? It's 230, still less than 315, and it is. So you're going to do the very same thing again. 10 times 23, we're going to take out that partial quotient, 230. Subtract that out. Let me make sure you all can still see on the screen. 5 minus 0 is 5. Got to regroup a little bit here. 11 minus 3 is 8. So we're down to 85 now, all right? Let me just move the screen down just a little bit. I'm afraid you all aren't going to be able to see the bottom. So this is now less than 230. So we cannot use 10 as a partial quotient anymore. All right, we've kind of finished that out here. So now we've got to think about another easy number to multiply by 23 that you can do quickly in your head. You don't want it to take too long because that defeats the purpose of the strategy. that would be less than 85. Now you could just do 23 times 1, but I bet you all could probably think about what 23 times 2 is. So if we're going to double 23, and we use 2, 2 times 23 is 46, right? So that'll take out at least a decent chunk of 85, okay? Almost half. So 5, I'm going to regroup here. 15 minus 6 is 9. 7 minus 4 is 3. So now we're down to 39, all right? So now we can't do 2 times 23, but we can do 1 times 23, right? So 1 times 23 is 23. Subtract that out, and we are down to 16, all right, all the way at the bottom. Now, just like we learned with the other strategy, when this number down here, with what you have left out of your original dividend, gets to be less than your divisor, you know that you can quit, that you're done, you can stop. So this becomes your, you all probably remember, it's your remainder. Hopefully you're telling that to the screen right now. So what you have to do to get your final answer, and then you can add on your remainder, is you've got to add up all of your partial quotients on the side, and that'll get you your answer to this problem of what 775 divided by 23 is. And then you'll have your remainder left on top of that. So 10 plus 10 plus 10 is 30, 2, 33. 33 with a remainder of 16. All right? And that's your final answer. I know that seemed like a lot, but once you all start doing this, I think you'll become pretty fast with it. So the final answer for this problem would be, how many years would it take you to eat 775 pounds of pizza? Well, it would take you a little more than 33 years, okay? So if you put this in a calculator, it would be like 33.16666 something, okay? So it would actually take you, a little bit more than 33 and some change, all right? All right, so that is partial quotients. Your teacher might choose to do another example with you. I know I'm going to do that with my kids live after we watch this video so that you all can get maybe one more practice problem in before you actually start. All right, go have fun.